Good morning, Cullman. Thank you for joining us on Cullman Today. I'm your host, Christine Wiggins, and today is Wednesday, April 29th. Coming up on Cullman Today, Sheriff Matt Gentry addresses concerns surrounding a recent Cold Springs incident involving juveniles, plus an 86-year-old man dies following a crash on Highway 278 in Cullman County. And Good Hope receives an extra $1 million to help complete a major wastewater project. All of this plus sports, weather, and more. Now let's take a closer look at the top stories happening in Cullman today. Cullman County Sheriff Matt Gentry is addressing community concerns following an assault involving juveniles at Cold Springs. The sheriff says investigators have been working closely with the victim, families, and those involved since the case began. He noted that because all parties are juveniles, state law limits what information can be released to the public. Gentry said the case is being fully investigated just like any other case handled by the sheriff's office. He also emphasized the strength of the Cold Springs community, pointing to recent events that highlight student achievement and community involvement.
One thing I would ask is that if you see something on social media, unless it comes from me or the Cullman County Sheriff's Office, don't believe it. We will produce anything that we can to let you know what is going on with the case. But rest assured, we are working the case to the fullest and be working with the juvenile authorities in this case.
Gentry closed by asking the community to keep the victim, everyone involved, and Cold Springs in their prayers. An Arley man has died following a two-vehicle crash in Cullman County. Alabama state troopers identified the victim as 86-year-old Arlen Langley. Troopers say Langley was driving a 2010 Chrysler 300 when it collided with a 2025 Nissan Sentra, driven by 37-year-old Christina Campbell of Cullman. After the impact, both vehicles left the roadway. The Nissan struck a cable box and fence, while the Chrysler hit a stop sign, overturned, and struck a guy wire. Langley was airlifted to Huntsville Hospital, where he later died from his injuries on April 25th. The crash happened Thursday afternoon on U.S. Highway 278 near County Road 420, about 5 miles west of Cullman. State troopers say the investigation is ongoing. The City of Good Hope has secured an additional $1 million in state funding to help complete a major wastewater project. Senator Garland Gudger announced the funding after city leaders faced a significant shortfall when construction bids came in more than $1 million over budget. Gudger worked with Good Hope Mayor Jerry Bartlett to meet with leaders at the Alabama Department of Environmental Management to address the gap. The new funding will allow the city to move forward with the project without taking on additional debt. City leaders say the investment will benefit residents by improving infrastructure and supporting future growth. The project had previously received $3.3 million in grant funding, but rising construction costs created the need for additional support. State leaders say they will continue working to secure funding for local communities when needs arise. And that's all for our top stories this morning. Coming up, Cullman Soccer survives a penalty kick thriller and moves on to the third round of the playoffs. Sports is next.
It all starts with who you are. You know, I always tell our players, who you are is more important than what you do. How high you jump, how fast you run, because who you are is your character. And your character is an accumulation of your thoughts, your habits, and your priorities on a day-to-day basis, because those three things determine the choices you make. And the choices you make you who you are. Good guy, bad guy, hardworking, lazy, responsible, irresponsible. And it takes a certain amount of discipline to do what you're supposed to do, when you're supposed to do it, the way it's supposed to get done.
Welcome back. Cullman is moving on in the Class 6A state soccer playoffs after a hard-fought win over Randolph Monday. The Bearcats battled through a physical, scoreless game that remained tied through regulation and overtime, forcing a penalty kick shootout. Cullman came out on top in the shootout, winning 3-2 to advance to the third round. Senior goalkeeper Levi Hokinson delivered a key early save, helping set the tone, while Carlos Medina, Reed Flores, and Blaise Fisher converted their penalty attempts. Both teams had scoring chances throughout the match, but strong defense and goalkeeping kept the game scoreless until the shootout. With the win, Cullman continues its playoff run and will face Gadsden City in the next round. The Bearcats will host that matchup Saturday night at 7:30. And last night's girls' playoff game was moved from last night due to weather concerns to tonight at 6 p.m. at Decatur Ogle Stadium. And that wraps up sports for today. Coming up next, a local book drive is putting thousands of new learning opportunities into the hands of Cullman County kids. Plus, Cullman County honors a longtime 4-H volunteer whose impact is still shaping young lives today. Welcome back. Now it's time to speed things up with a news rundown. 4 stories in under 4 minutes. Cullman County 4-H is recognizing one of its longtime volunteers for decades of service. Bobby Big Bob Barrett was named the 25-26 4-H Volunteer of the Year for the Northeast region. Barrett spent more than 20 years as a shotgun and skeet coach, welcoming hundreds of young people to his range and teaching safety, sportsmanship, and confidence. He and his wife, Cherry, had also supported horse and community clubs and helped judge competitions and demonstrations. Barrett has since passed away, and the award was accepted by his wife on his behalf. Local leaders say his impact continues through the many young people he mentored over the years. Cullman 4-H is encouraging the community to honor Barrett's legacy during National Volunteer Week. United Way of Cullman County is thanking General Dynamics Mission Systems for its continued support of local literacy efforts. Through its annual virtual STEM book drive, the company donated a large collection of books that helped fully stock the Little Free Library at Art Park. Organizers say the books are already making an impact by giving children access to stories that encourage curiosity and learning. Over the past 4 years, employees have donated more than 6,700 books through the program. United Way leaders say the effort provides valuable opportunities for kids to explore science, technology, and other subjects in a fun, accessible way. They say partnerships like this help strengthen the community by investing in young learners. The Cullman County Sheriff's Office is warning residents about a scam currently circulating by email and text message. Deputies say the office has received numerous calls from people asking about the messages. The Sheriff's Office says the messages are not legitimate and residents should not respond. Anyone who receives one is urged not to click on any links, scan any QR codes, or contact anyone listed in the message. Residents should also avoid sharing personal or financial information and simply ignore or delete the message. The Cullman Tree Commission met April 21st at Cullman City Hall, where City Arborist Shane Bivens reported routine operations and answered questions about tree clearing and other work taking place in city parks. The only new business was approval of $71.92 invoice to Cullman Parks Recreation and Sports Tourism for 2 Chinese pistache trees recently planted at the Commission's request. Commission leaders also reviewed this year's Arbor Day celebration and Tree City USA dedication ceremony, calling it a strong success. They also reported a successful Arbor Day tree sale in February with more than 50 seedlings potted at the commission station to help improve their chances of survival. The Tree Commission serves in an advisory role to the city, supporting tree planting, care, and preservation. The next meeting is scheduled for June 16th at Cullman City Hall. And that's your 4 stories in under 4 minutes. Now for a quick break before we look at the weather ahead and pay our respects with obituaries. I'll be right back after this quick message. Let's take a moment to pause and remember those who lost their lives this week. Roger Dale Holmes, 74 of Hanceville, passed away Sunday, April 26th. A celebration of life will be held at a later date. Allyson Helton Yoder of Cullman passed away Monday, April 27th. Visitation will be Thursday, April 30th from noon to 1 p.m. at West Point Baptist Church, followed by funeral service. Burial will be at Cullman City Cemetery. Sammie Audrey Jones, 72, passed away Friday, April 24th. No services are scheduled at this time. Our thoughts and prayers go out to their friends and families. Now let's take a look at your weather forecast. Today starts off a little unsettled with a 50% chance of showers and storms, mainly before noon. After that, we'll see some breaks in the clouds with a high near 79. Tonight stays mostly cloudy with a lingering chance of showers and storms and a low around 51. Tomorrow brings a noticeable change, cooler and calmer with partly sunny skies and a high near 71. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy with just a slight chance of a late night shower and a low around 50. And that wraps up today's edition of Cullman Today. Thank you for sharing your morning with us. And remember to stay connected by following us on social media and visiting CullmanTribune.com for the latest from our community. We'll be back bright and early tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. Until then, I'm Christine Wiggins with Cullman Today. Have a wonderful day, Cullman.